everybody? It's me, Edward Jones, back with another video. This video is about some of the things I've experienced, some of the things I notice with people who I guess I would describe as non-preppers, people who don't, I guess, people who don't participate in that kind of lifestyle, um, which it is a lifestyle. Preparing for things that may come down the road is a lifestyle. And for many of us, it seems as though why wouldn't you want to prepare for things that may come? Why wouldn't you want to prepare for a storm that may come down the road? Why wouldn't you want to prepare for bad, hard economic times? I mean, and in some funny cases, why would you want to prepare for zombies? That kind of thing. But something I noticed, there's a few things that I noticed from people who I would describe as non-preppers. Non-preppers being people who don't put things back, who don't think about these kind of things. The first thing I noticed is that is their day-to-day life doesn't allow for them to think about anything other than either work when they're on the clock, and when they're off the clock, how to get things, how to think about things that will push work out from their head, keep from having to bring work home with them. And so they may, tune into sports or, look at things, look at, entertainment news, stuff like that. And they don't really, it doesn't give themselves any time to actually think about, maybe I should maybe I should put some food back or put back some water. So it's like basically they get consumed by day-to-day things that it doesn't occur to them in their head that something may happen. I noticed that sometimes when some people would come out, I've seen people walking around outside and they didn't have a raincoat on, and I would be like, me and a few other people would be the only ones with raincoats or umbrellas, and it's just that they, of course, it showed that the weather looked like it was going to rain, but they didn't think about putting on a raincoat because they just didn't process it like some other people would. Another thing I noticed is that there are a lot of people who are some people who I noticed who are non-preppers. They don't like to think about disaster coming down the road. It bothers them, because they have this sense that they're not going to make it. So they wish they could rather just push it out of their head and focus on something else, rather than see the writing on the wall. Things aren't doing so good. You may want to prepare for it, but instead it makes them feel bad, so they do things that make them feel good and not have to think about what's to come down the road. Stuff like that, tuning out, essentially. People will tune out, say from the news, or even the weather. They don't want to see like the weather doesn't look favorable, so they focus their attention on something else. And what it does is it keeps them from actually preparing. Keeps them from whether it be putting food back, learning skills that may be useful down the road, or something as simple as putting on a raincoat. I noticed that I was like that. I was like that for a while. In fact, me and my friends would actually get together, and we still do this from time to time, but we did it more extensively. We would actually talk about, I guess we were in our 20s and stuff like that. We would talk about zombie apocalypse. Now, for some people who are older, it may seem ridiculous that people talking about zombies at a time like this, but you have to understand that just from the think about the concept of it happening, it actually people I knew who are my age, they actually consider preparing because of that being, they consider that a possibility. I don't know how much of a probability it is, but they consider it a possibility. And if they can prepare for that, then maybe they'll be prepared for anything else that may come along, whether it be nature related or man made. And so it's good. I think it's good to have those kind of discussions. Even though it may come off as being kind of you're goofing off, you're having fun with the conversation. It does put into your head that maybe let's say zombies may be maybe over the top, but then you can think about well, but then there are also bad storms, and you can also consider that maybe I should put back a few extra cans of food, a few extra gallons of water, some extra rain clothing, some extra weatherproofing shields to the windows, things like that. Like I said, it may even come about from from the discussion of zombies, but it gets the ball rolling, and I think that can be helpful for those who aren't thinking about prepping. Just strike a conversation like that. If zombies came in, they call me. If zombies came in the door, what would you do? um, or if you're stuck in your house, and there are hordes of zombies outside. What would could you provide for yourself during a time like that? And I think I think things like that can actually get a person's mind going. Even though it's kind of silly, those still even for me, it's fun to talk about. But that's just something I notice about people who don't prep. It just doesn't come about in their minds to think about it, to plan ahead, to as a squirrel would do. As a squirrel would gather nuts, for bad weather. They don't think to put things back, for when hard times may come. Another thing I've noticed is that uh, some people don't. They don't. They don't. Some people who aren't preppers, they don't do it because they see it as being a waste of time. They don't. They're saying if if there's not anything immediate, or what might why prepare. Because I've heard a lot of people say that going back to they're talking about zombies. They say if there's zombies, I'm heading to Walmart. We get guns and ammo and food. Well, another thing something I'd say is, well, if you're thinking about it that way, why not just do it all beforehand? And it'll be a combination of, oh well, I don't have the time to do stuff like that, or I don't have the money, or maybe it's too early to prepare for anything like that. So that's just something that they talk about, what they would do when something would happen, but they don't do much to prepare for it before anything happens. And it's just maybe they think about it and they say, maybe it won't happen. Maybe there won't be zombies, or maybe a storm won't come and hit this part of town. But then but you notice that when the storm does hit, people are flooding grocery stores. People are flooding department stores and trying to get supplies. And it's because they thought about it, but then they didn't really see it down the road. So they figure, well, I can spend money on other things rather than spend on things that may alleviate some of the worry I have of what may happen down the road. But these are some of the things that I've noticed from people who who I guess who could be considered non-preppers. It's I guess for them it's like out of sight, out of mind, and and when they say out of mind, it's really they're not thinking about it. But I would say if you're encountering them, don't be too harsh on them. No, rather don't be harsh on them. Uh, I'd say just poke a bit. Try to get you can get them thinking about this kind of stuff. And I've had a few people they come to me for advice about what kind of gun to get, or what kind of stuff to put back. And I give them my 2 cents, and I say, well, if you are worried about it, you could start. I always say start off with clean water. Make sure you have clean. Make sure you have a way of cleaning your water, have good potable water, and then you move on from there. Um, one way, and also going back, one way of doing that is, like I said, joke with your friends. You can joke around and say, hey, you know, uh, if you're in a workplace setting, if there were zombies that come into the office, what would you grab in? What would you grab in here that to defend yourself? Oh, I may grab the stapler. I may grab the part of the copy machine. Things like that, and then get the ball rolling from there. Because trust me, that creates a good conversation. Um, it's informative and humorous at the same time. It can get complicated because say, well, we're talking about fast movie zombies or slow movie zombies, or ones from Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Dead, or World War Z. So, but as long as you keep it fun, these will keep it and informative. You can change the thoughts of someone who doesn't have prepping in mind. And I say, try it out with some people that you know. It won't hurt. Uh, it just be it would be more, most at best it'll be funny, and at worst, you may get brushed off, but that's okay. At least you tried. But hey, that's my video. If you have any comments, please, leave whatever suggestions or tips, funny stuff that you have in the comment section. Do you agree with me? Cool. If you don't agree with me, it's cool too. Just feel free to say why. Only thing I ask is you be civil towards other people. I don't care about what you say to me. It's fine. It's fine with me. I won't block you. But just ask you to be civil towards everyone else. Well, yeah, that's my video. Thoughts for non-prepper. I'm Edward Jones.